Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Knows.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the inner sanctum.
Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? Bill-Johnstone, Marjorie-Anderson, starring as the Shadow from October 1st, 1939. This episode of The Shadow entitled The Night Marauders.
And now for another thrilling adventure of The Shadow. Today's story, The Night Marauders. The Shadow, mysterious character who furthers the forces of law and order, is in reality Lamont Cranston, wealthy young man about town. The Shadow uses his hypnotic power to cloud men's minds so they cannot see him. Cranston's friend and companion, the lovely Margot Lane, is the only person who knows to whom the unseen voice of the Shadow belongs. As the scene opens in our story, it is night, dark, still night, and we find ourselves the unseen observers of two vague figures moving almost silently across a windowsill and into a darkened bedroom where lies asleep a beautiful girl at peace with the world. Then, out of the stillness,
Hello? Oh, hello, darling. What? Well, what happened? Are you all right? Well, who was it? A short, powerful man? A monster? Why, you're dreaming, darling. Yes? They ransacked your whole room. That sounds like the Night Marauders. Margot, I'm coming right over as soon as I call Commissioner Weston. Now, don't worry. I'll be right there. Goodbye.
Come in, Lamont.
Margot, are you all right?
Yes, I guess so. My throat's a little bruised.
Your throat?
Yes, one of them had his fingers wrapped around my neck.
That's horrible.
I guess that's what's known as getting fingerprints the hard way.
Now, this is no joking matter, Margot.
Well, I'm aware of that every time I swallow.
Did you see what they looked like?
Only the one by my bed. But I could hear the other one prowling around the room. Whew, it was creepy.
What did the one by your bed look like?
Well, the best description I can think of at the moment is Frankenstein's homely brother. He was quite short, with long arms and a really bestial face.
That's an ugly description.
It was an ugly face.
That's probably Commissioner Weston. I asked him to come over. Come in, Commissioner.
Thank you, Cranston. How are you, Miss Lane?
All right, now, thanks.
Now, where did it happen?
Right in here in my bedroom.
Did they take anything of value?
A few years off my life.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, tell me just what took place, Miss Lane.
Well, I'm a little hazy as to detail. You see, I was asleep, and I was dreaming about pumpkin pies.
What?
Honest. Pumpkin pies. You know, the kind that Mother never makes.
Yes, Miss Lane, but tell me about your waking moments.
Don't you like pumpkin pies?
I adore pumpkin pies, Miss Lane. But this is a police investigation, not a cooking class.
I'll listen to your dream later, Margot.
Thank you, darling.
Do you mind...
Oh, sorry. Well, I was awakened by the realization that something was grasping my throat. And it, incidentally, wasn't pumpkin pie.
Miss Lane, please.
I started to scream, but the man put his other hand across my mouth.
And then the other man ransacked your room, is that right?
Yes, how'd you know?
Well,
You ought to know. The same two nocturnal Nimrods have been driving Commissioner Weston and his department slightly insane.
No, it's not that bad, Cranston. We'll have them both under lock and key any day now.
Oh, then you know who they are?
Well, not exactly.
Do you even vaguely know who they are?
Well,
Not exactly, eh, Commissioner?
we know how they work and, well, we...
And you know they're burglars.
Yes, we know they're... I mean, the department always catches up with crimes, Miss Lane.
Well, I'd like to catch up with these criminals myself, Commissioner. If you need a running mate, I wish you'd count on me.
No thanks, but I appreciate your offer.
I see.
There's just one thing I think you should know before I leave, Miss Lane.
Yes, Commissioner?
I really do like pumpkin pie. Good night.
Well, that was a nice, chummy little investigation, but I failed to see that it proved anything.
It didn't. And Weston's plenty worried, too.
Lamont, I don't like that glint in your eye. Are you going to get mixed up in this?
Definitely.
Oh, Lamont.
Now, you go back to bed, Margot. I'll come over in the morning, and we'll figure out how the Shadow can track down the Night Marauders. Yeah, Margot, you don't know how fortunate you were last night.
What do you mean, Lamont?
Now, look at this newspaper. Night Marauders turned to murder.
Murder?
Yes. The body of John Kenyon was discovered this morning by his valet. He'd been brutally murdered sometime before dawn today. Due to the deep bruises on his throat and the fact that his bedroom had been ransacked, Commissioner Weston admitted that the Night Marauders were unquestionably guilty.
Oh, Lamont, it might have been I.
Yes, Margot. May I use your phone?
Yes, surely.
I'm going to ask Weston again if I can work with him. If he doesn't want me, I'm going to work on this case by myself.
You can't tell Lamont. Maybe he'll make you a special deputy or something.
That's right, he might. Hello? Police Department? I'd like to speak to Commissioner Weston, please. Commissioner Weston. No. Weston, W-E-S-T-O-N. You know, the head of your department. Yes, that's it. That's right. The operator said he'd try to find him.
Oh, that's fine. They're supposed to catch criminals, and they can't even find their commissioner.
Hello? This is Cranston, Commissioner. I just read about the Night Marauders' latest crime, and I'd still like to lend a hand in rounding them up. I think that I could... Oh. I see. You're not running a school for detectives, eh? Goodbye. Nice fellow.
Did you read this, Lamont?
What, dear?
Henry Burns, an employee of the city, is quoted as having seen two figures leap from Kenyon's window at about the same hour that the crime was committed.
Good. That's something to work on.
Well, what do you plan to do?
I wouldn't be surprised if the Shadow paid a call on Henry Burns tonight.
Thanks for making sure I got home safely. I guess you can go now, officer.
Oh, no. Not until I take a look around your apartment, Mr. Burns. You're so nervous that if a mouse...
Nervous? How would you like to be locked up all day in a room the size of a cigar box? An hour after hour, face the inquisition of questions hammered at your head.
Now, they were only trying
How would you like it? Answer me, how would you like it?
Say, look, Mr. Burns, you'd better take it easy.
I'll be dead before morning.
Now, no one's going to kill you, Mr. Burns, not with me on the job. I'll be right downstairs. Good night, pleasant dreams.
Well, Mr. Burns,
What? Who said that?
I did.
Well, where are you? Who are you?
I am the Shadow.
Shadow. I've heard of you, but I can't see you.
I cloud men's minds so they cannot see me.
Oh, you did that to me, huh?
Yes. Now see here, Mr. Burns. I haven't come here for any other purpose than to act as your friend, to help you. Please believe me.
Somehow I do believe you, Shadow.
Good. Then tell me what you saw last night.
Oh, I can't. I tell you, I just can't.
Why can't you?
I was hoping that you'd be different from the rest. But it's just the same series of questions. What did you see? What did they look like?
Wait a minute, Mr. Burns. I came in with you and the officer that escorted you home. You told him you expected to die.
Yeah.
To die.
Yeah, that's right. I expect to be killed. I'm not afraid to die.
Since you're not afraid to die, Mr. Burns, why shouldn't you tell me what you saw last night?
I hadn't thought of it that way. As long as you're going to get me anyway, why shouldn't I tell? All right. I did see something. It was horrible, Shadow. Horrible, I tell you.
Don't be afraid.
Well, I was walking home. I passed the apartment house where the murder was committed. I heard a weird call, an unearthly sound from nowhere. I turned and saw two figures that appeared silently from a second-story window. They slipped to the ground without a sound and hurried, half running, half walking. Disappeared in the shrubbery across the street at the edge of the park. One of them was short, massive, unbelievably horrible to see. And the other in his hand... What was that?
Look at your feet.
Huh?
A piece of rock with some paper tied to it.
I know. I know, it's the Night Marauders. I know, it's from them.
Read it. Pick it up and read it.
All right. All right. Dead men and wise men say nothing. You have the choice of being either dead or wise. Sign the Night Marauders. Dead or wise.
Put the note on the table.
All right.
It's the first clue. And from that very scrap of paper, the police may be able to get fingerprints. 100 leads to the solution of these crimes.
Maybe you're right. Maybe the police could find the Night Marauders. Hurry, take it. Take it to the police. That note may save my life.
I will. And now, Mr. Burns.
Yeah?
I suggest that you try to get some rest. The police are on guard. You're safe enough here.
I guess you're right. You go out this way. Good night.
Good night. Rest well.
Huh? Rest well. Dead men and wise men say nothing.
Mr. Burns, open the door. Open the door, Mr. Burns.
No answer.
Come on, help me break this door down.
Okay.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, look at the poor devil.
Oh, good Lord.
Is he dead? Let me look at the body.
Oh, I can't stand this.
Quiet. Still breathing a little. Be quiet, stand back. Mr. Burns. Mr. Burns, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Shadow.
It's Shadow. So he's the guy behind the riddle of the Night Marauders.
October 1st, 1939, The Shadow on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, more of The Shadow, October 1st, 1939.
Murphy. Murphy.
Yes, Commissioner Weston.
I want a list of every piece of jewelry that the Night Marauders have stolen from their victims.
Yes, sir.
Has any of it turned up at the pawn shops yet?
No, sir, not a piece. We've been checking every fence for months, sir.
All right, then we'll... Yes?
Good morning, Commissioner. I believe you're looking for me for the murder of Henry Burns.
Who's this?
The Shadow, Commissioner.
The Shadow?
Yes.
Murphy, have this call traced at once. Get every squad car in town in action. Right, sir. Now, what did you say, Shadow?
Commissioner, I know you're having this call traced. But I called to tell you that I was in Henry Burns' apartment last night. While I was there, a stone was thrown through the window. It had a note attached to it.
We didn't find any note.
I know you didn't. I have the note. I'll send it to you tomorrow. I'd better hang up now. You may trace this call faster than I anticipate. Goodbye, Commissioner.
Wait!
Commissioner.
Well, Murphy, did you trace the call?
Yes, sir.
Squad cars on the way?
No, sir.
Why not?
The call came from the phone booth here in headquarters.
The call... Here in headquarters? Well, did you get him?
No, sir. There was no one in sight, sir.
Well, this is great. The Shadow is now insulting the department with the department's own nickels.
Park's beautiful tonight, isn't it?
Yes, Lamont. What good does it do me?
No, Margot.
Oh, don't be alarmed. I'll behave. You know, Lamont, I made a dreadful mistake last night.
And what was that?
Well, I just remembered. It wasn't the kind of pumpkin pies that Mother made at all.
What wasn't the kind of pumpkin pies that
My
Mother...
dream. It was apple dumplings. Now, wasn't that silly of me? Whatever made me think it was pumpkin pie?
I don't... Hey, driver, watch out for that car. It's carting you off the road.
Yeah, I see the gun down full. Whoa, steady now. Yeah.
Good evening, Mr. Cranston.
Commissioner Weston, say you gave us a scare.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Commissioner, I was just telling Lamont. It wasn't pumpkin pie at all last night. It was apple dumplings.
What was which?
A dream, Commissioner. Last night, you remember that?
Oh, yes, I see. I recognized you two riding along, and I thought I'd give you a little tip on detecting, Mr. Cranston.
Really? What's that?
While you're driving around the park for a breath of fresh air, enjoying the sunset after a good dinner...
And a very good dinner it was, too, Commissioner.
Yes, I'm driving around in the park because after analysis I discovered that all of the crimes of the Night Marauders have taken place within a block of the park. What do you think of that?
Well, is that what you call a clue, Commissioner?
Is that what I call it? It's the first significant fact we've unearthed.
Do you really think that the Shadow was guilty, Commissioner?
What else am I to think? He tried to mislead us today by calling up about some phony letter. And furthermore, I think he's right here in this park.
Oh, no, Commissioner.
Yes, sir, that's what I think. And I have a hunch we'll pick him up tonight. Well, I must be going.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Commissioner. Well, maybe he's going to beat you to the punch after all.
Maybe you've got something there.
Lamont.
What is it, Margot? Well, you're white as a sheet.
That's it. Did you hear that weird call?
Oh, yes, well, what about it?
That's the call I heard last night. I heard it while that man still had his hand on my throat. And when he heard it, he looked up and then let go immediately.
Are you sure it's the same call?
Oh, Lamont, do you think I could forget one detail of that awful experience?
Driver, stop here.
Yes, sir.
It sounded as though it came from over there by the zoo.
We're going to walk a bit. We'll be back shortly.
Very good, sir.
All right, down you get, Margot.
All right.
Yeah. Margot, on second thought, I think you'd better go back and stay in the carriage.
All right. Oh, but be careful, Lamont, please.
I'll be as quiet as a shadow.
Get back, Freddy. Get back. You want me to clean your cage, don't you? There, that's better. Now you'll stay over there where you belong, Freddy. You know, Freddy, you're a very interesting playmate. Oh, you're a little rough once in a while, but when you figure it out, you're quite like a human. We've been friends for a long time, eh, Freddy? Yes, I remember when you first came here. Yes, you were just a little fellow, and now you're a full-grown gorilla. The finest specimen in captivity. Yes. Why, when you came here, you weren't any bigger than Jocko. If you could only read, Freddy, you'd laugh, too. Do you know what the papers said today, Freddy? They said that the Shadow killed that man last night. Yes! Silly fools, as if the Shadow had the strength to do what you did to that man. But fools! Why should he get credit for those murders, Freddy? Oh, but it's just as well. Until you get more experience, Freddy, yes. Yes, then no one will take credit for our work. You know, Freddy, we can rule this whole city. And do you know how, Freddy? Through fear. Here, now, what's the matter with you? Here, now, shut up, Freddy, shut up there now. What's the matter with you? What was that?
It's the Shadow.
Shadow? Where are you?
Here in the cage with you and your gorilla.
Oh, you're the man nobody can see. What are you doing here?
I've been standing here listening to you talk to your friend Freddy.
Oh, you've heard everything I said?
Yes.
And we keepers always talk to our animals. They are more quiet when they hear our voices. It doesn't make any difference what we say, just so long as we talk. Now, what I said meant nothing, Shadow. Nothing at all. No! Now, Shadow, you and Freddy are locked alone in the cage. And he knows you're in the cage. You may be able to hypnotize my mind so I can't see you. But you can't do it to a gorilla, can you? Can you?
You're right. I can't.
Oh, the shadow isn't afraid of Freddy, is he?
No.
But you will be, because in a minute I'm going to tell Freddy to kill you. But first, I thought maybe you'd like to ask me about the Night Marauders. Shadow, may I present the Night Marauders?
And this could be dangerous for the Shadow. October 1st, 1939, Bill Johnstone as the Shadow here on this edition of Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of The Shadow, October 1st, 1939. And we learn the identity of the Night Marauder.
Little Jocko, the monkey who is in the cage down at the end, Freddy the gorilla, and their trainer and brains, Joseph Shankro. Yes, it's a pleasure to at last be able to introduce us, even if it is only to a doomed man. Yes. Tell me, Shadow, will you be visible after Freddy kills you?
That remains to be seen. But tell me more about your crimes, Joseph Shankro.
They are not crimes. They are adventures. No, quiet, Freddy, quiet. It's not quite the time yet, Freddy. Shadow, I'm going to be a great power. Power through fear is my motto.
Why did you turn to murder?
Oh, I was tired of taking jewelry. I wanted a new adventure. I have all the jewelry I need right now hidden beneath you. Yes, beneath the cage you're standing in. But now, Shadow, comes the newest of my adventures. I'm going to see you die. Yes, you know too much, and besides, I'm tired of talking to you. Oh, this is going to be fun. That's very amusing. Yeah, that's right, Freddy. Now's the time. Kill, Freddy. Kill. Freddy, do you hear me? Kill him. Crush him to death. Kill him.
Well, Joseph Shankro, your power is gone. Your gorilla will no longer do what you want.
Freddy, obey me. Kill him.
He will not obey you anymore, Joseph Shankro.
He belongs to me.
I, too, know and understand animals. Freddy won't kill me.
Yes, he will. Freddy, kill him. Do you hear me? I'm coming in there with this whip. I'll cut you to ribbons, Freddy. Then you'll know who your master is.
You fool. Don't open that door. Stay out. Stay away from him.
Then you'll learn your master's here.
Don't hit him.
Then you'll kill when I tell you to.
Stop it.
You feel that, Freddy?
You're mad. Stop it, I tell you.
Like this, Freddy. You know who's your master. You'll do what I say. Now kill Freddy. Kill. No, Freddy. No, Freddy, stop. Stop, let go. No, let go, Freddy.
Gorilla's moved!
Stay back, Miss Lane. Stay back. Are you all right, Miss Lane?
Yes. Oh, Commissioner Weston, did you fire those shots?
Yes, I did. I was standing behind that tree there. Oh, just a second.
Well, what are you doing?
I'm shutting the cage door. The shadow's in here. This is a great moment for me. The gorilla is dead. The Night Marauders are no more. And I have at last caught the shadow.
Not quite yet, Commissioner.
What? The shadow? I was right here. I heard everything that went on between you and Joseph Shankro. I know you're not guilty of murder, but still there are a lot of things I want to know about you, and you won't get out of that cage until I find them out.
But I am out, Commissioner. I came out when the gorilla escaped. And if you don't believe it, you'll find a bullet in the back of the gorilla that didn't come from your gun. Better luck next time, Commissioner.
Miss Lane, if you were not here, I'd say a few things that no gentleman should ever say.
Well, I don't mind if you do say them, but let me first say thank you for saving my life.
Well, I did my bit, but I'm afraid that some of the thanks belongs to the shadow, and so help me, someday I'm going to find out who he is.
Margot, are you all right?
Yes, Lamont.
I heard shots. Good heavens, the gorilla, he didn't hurt you, did he?
No, Lamont, he was dead before he got near me. The commissioner saved my life.
Well, for that, Commissioner, I shall never be able to thank you enough.
Well, sorry you weren't in on the kill, Lamont. In case the Night Marauders has been solved. And, Lamont, except for a very bad break, I would have been able to introduce you to the shadow.
Really, Commissioner? I can think of nothing more interesting than to have you introduce me to the shadow.
Today's program is based on a story copyrighted by the Shadow magazine. All the characters and all the places named are fictitious. Any similarity to persons living or dead is purely coincidental. The Shadow magazine is on sale at your local newsstand.
The weed of crime bears bitter fruit. Crime does not pay. The shadow knows.
October 1st, 1939, The Shadow on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Well, now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, we start a brand new yours truly Johnny Dollar story. This is going to be the Picture Postcard Matter. This is episode 1 as it was originally broadcast October 1st, 1956.
From Hollywood, it's time now for
Johnny Dollar.
Tom Wilkins at Global Casualty, Johnny.
Oh, hi, Tom. How you doing?
Lousy. Right now I've got one big headache, $100,000 headache.
Try an ice bag and go back to bed.
A bag of ice would cure me, all right, but not the kind of ice you're thinking of.
$100,000
worth of uncut diamonds, Johnny. They've been stolen, and we wrote the policy on them.
100,000? That's a fat lot of rocks, Tom.
And a fat fee if you can recover them for us. You interested?
Oh, that's the understatement of the week.
Tonight, and every weekday night, Bob Bailey in the transcribed adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to the Home Office, Global Casualty, Hartford, Connecticut. Following is an account of expenditures during my investigation of the Picture Postcard Matter. Expense account item 1, $1.25. Taxi to the office of Global Casualty, where Tom Wilkins was waiting for me.
Looks like we're bucking a pretty well-organized outfit in this deal, Johnny. The way they pulled the job shows they'd planned it out pretty well.
How did it happen, Tom, and where?
The diamonds were being taken by special courier from Zurich, Switzerland to Amsterdam. They got lifted at the Zurich airport.
How?
The airport was crowded. The courier was carrying the diamonds in a leather briefcase strapped to his wrist. A fight broke out suddenly. In the confusion, the courier was slugged and the case cut loose from him.
After which the fight suddenly stopped, huh?
Yeah. It was obviously a rigged brawl. By the time the police arrived, the people involved had disappeared.
With the uncut diamonds.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like their timing was pretty good.
Too good.
How about the courier? You get a look at the guy who slugged him?
No, it happened from behind.
Anybody in the airport crowd able to describe the guys who'd rigged the brawl?
Well, no clear description. Somebody mentioned that one of the men involved was stocky, sort of a bull neck.
Oh, great. Probably only a couple of million people answering that description.
True.
Zurich police turn up anything?
Not a thing.
Well, look, Tom, I'm an insurance investigator, not a magician. You better get yourself another boy.
Whoa, Johnny. We got one lead, and it could be enough if it's on the level.
Oh? Well, let's have it.
The robbery was day before yesterday. This morning, I got an airmail special delivery letter from Zurich. Here, take a look.
Regarding the recent diamond matter, I have information which may enable you to recover them.
For a reward.
So I see. And he wants to talk to somebody about it.
Yeah. And I nominate you.
It's signed Sebastian. Any idea who he is?
None at all. As you see, I was to reply to General Delivery in Zurich. I did. Told him you were the one.
Uh-huh. How do I find him?
I'll read on. You're to register at the Polo Hotel in Zurich. He or she will contact you there.
You think it's on the level?
I don't know.
Could be a phony. Somebody trying to ace in and promote a fast buck. It's happened before.
Sure, and this could be another one. But right now, it's the only lead we've got. We got to take a chance and go along with it.
I can't say I care for the postscript here. Extreme caution necessary.
Leads me to think there's one thing you'd better be real sure about, Johnny.
What's that?
That you don't get contacted by the wrong guy.
And so, with the sun sinking slowly in the west and my morale slowly following suit, I said goodbye to my cheerful friend and set sail for distant shores. Item 2, $622, plane fare and incidentals to Zurich, Switzerland. It was a quiet, uneventful flight, and I had a lot of time to think. But I didn't much like what I was thinking. Whoever had lifted the uncut stones wouldn't exactly like the idea of an informant spilling the beans to me, and I had a slight hunch I'd be lucky if beans were the only thing that got spilled. My plane landed at Zurich in the late afternoon. I hired a cab, that's item 3, $1, to take me to the Polo Hotel. The city looked bright, fresh, and clean. It gave me a lift. And the sight of a very pretty girl walking quickly to my cab as we were ready to pull away from the airport didn't hurt either.
Oh, darling,
Well, hello.
I'm so sorry. I made a mistake.
Darn it.
I thought you
But
were...
that was somebody else. Yeah, that's the trouble with having an ordinary-looking face.
Well, I wouldn't call it ordinary. But please...
Well?
Please, I wonder, could I share your cab into the city?
Oh, by all means.
I guess my friend was not on that plane after all.
Oh, that's rough. Okay, driver.
Well, this is very good of you.
Well, I'm a real prince when you get to know me, Miss...
Schaefer. Ilsa Schaefer.
Johnny Dollar. And speaking of getting to know me...
Driver, please pull up.
Well, hey, how come?
Oh, I am so sorry, Mr. Dollar. I just remembered something I have to do.
We were just beginning to get acquainted.
I know. A pity, isn't it?
Well, look, wait, don't...
But perhaps this will make up for it.
Well, offhand, I can't think of a better start. Now, if you'll only...
Goodbye.
Hey, Ilsa, wait! Well, if this is the customary Swiss hospitality, driver, sign me up. Then I realized that Ilsa had forgotten her purse. I had the driver cruise around a few minutes, but we didn't see her anywhere. So I dropped her purse off at the Lost and Found office of the taxi cab company, then went on to the Polo Hotel. It was in the newer quarter of Zurich, on the lower slopes of the Zurichberg. I went inside and started for the desk in the lobby, but I didn't quite make it.
Turn here, please.
Sorry, I'm heading for the desk.
I said turn here, please.
You know, I can't say I care for the way you keep nudging me in the ribs. That wouldn't be a gun, would it?
Yes, it would. Now, if you will please come with me.
Okay, mister. Where to?
To the side entrance.
I'll say one thing. I sure didn't expect all the reception committees. The first one I like much better. Skip it, will you?
Outside. That car over there.
Hey, look, isn't it about time you told me what this is all about?
There's no use pretending you do not know. The diamonds.
Oh. You think I've got them, maybe?
I do not think. I'm sure of it.
Well, this may come as a nasty surprise to you, mister, but
I have no time to waste. She entered your cab with a purse.
She?
And
Ilsa?
And left without it. And she was, shall we say, very friendly to you.
Oh, that I remember. And I have no complaints, believe me, but she didn't give me any diamonds.
I warn you.
They weren't in her purse either. They checked the contents at Lost and Found.
Get into the car.
Hey, look, this routine won't get you anywhere.
Into the car.
Hey, take it easy, friend. You're trying to poke a hole in my ribs. Okay, relax. Take it
into the car.
I jerked the door open suddenly and I knocked him off balance. I swung at him, but he ducked and lunged at me. I went sprawling into the street in front of an oncoming car. The fenders hit me a glancing blow, and I bounced against the curb. By the time I could get to my feet again, my friend with a gun had disappeared, and so had his car. I wasn't hurt, but it took several minutes to convince the very scared cab driver who'd accidentally hit me. He should be scared. Expense account item 4, $12.75. Telephone call to Tom Wilkins at Global Casualty Bank in the States.
I'm glad you called, Johnny. Any luck so far?
No luck, but sure a lot of action.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, first off, an attractive little doll shares my cab for a few blocks, plants a kiss on me, and scrambles out, leaving her purse behind.
What?
Then a strong arm collars me and tells me the girl must have passed the diamonds to me in the cab.
Oh, but that doesn't make sense.
Well, anyway, that's what happened so far, plus my almost getting run over in the process.
Look, Johnny, I knew this wouldn't be an easy assignment, but...
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Don't worry, Tom. I'm still all in one piece. But I'm beginning to realize what Sebastian meant in his letter about extreme caution being necessary.
Has anyone contacted you yet?
No, only the aforementioned pair. No sign of this Sebastian, whoever he or she is.
Well, I still don't understand
Neither do I. Either the boys who stole the diamonds have lost them, or there's another outfit trying to get their hands on them. In which case, I'm right in the middle.
Johnny, Sebastian's still our only lead. You got to give him plenty of chance to contact you.
Yeah, I know. Will do.
But be careful.
Look, I'm with you, believe me. I went up to my room and stretched out on the bed to wait. 2 hours went by. Nothing happened. Finally, I went down to the lobby. Expense account item 5, 30 cents, 2 English language newspapers. I settled down in the most conspicuous chair I could find and waited some more. Still nothing. I worked my way through the newspapers slowly. Then, finally, somebody came over to the chair that was back to back with mine. I took a quick look. He was well-dressed, dark wavy hair, medium height. But he paid no attention to me and started reading his newspaper. Looked like a wrong guess. Maybe I'd have to wait until tomorrow. So I started to get up.
Mr. Dollar.
What?
Please, put your newspaper in front of your face and do not turn around.
Okay. Who are you?
Sebastian, who wrote the letter to your company in the United States.
Oh?
It must not appear we are talking to each other.
Somebody watching us?
I would not doubt it.
So you want to talk about the robbery of those uncut diamonds? How do I know you have any real information?
I will give you proof presently. But first, let us talk about the reward. What is the amount?
Depends on how good the information is, Sebastian.
I am talking about the diamonds.
Oh?
Suppose I were to tell you that I was in a position to guarantee their return.
Go on.
For $25,000 and no further investigation, I will arrange for the return of the diamonds.
I'd have to have proof that you know what you're talking about.
Of course. Let me see. My back is to you. Is it your right hand which is closest to the wall and shielded from the lobby?
Yeah.
Put it down beside your chair. Do not take the newspaper away from your face.
Okay.
Here.
A picture postcard.
Yes. Addressed to me, as you see.
The writing's in German. What does it mean?
It is the equivalent of your American expression, having wonderful time, wish you were here.
Signed by F. Gruner. Who's he or she?
A friend. Look at the picture on the other side.
The Kleibach Inn?
Yes. An inn in the town of Kleibach in the Alps, several hours from here.
Hey, wait a minute. Are the diamonds at the Kleibach Inn?
No. But this postcard is part of the key to their location.
Part of the key? Oh, now, look, Sebastian, this just isn't good enough. I can't...
Shh. Someone is coming. I cannot talk further with you here. It is not safe.
Well, look,
do not worry. I will furnish all the proof you need.
When?
Tonight. Now listen carefully. I am going. I will leave my newspaper on the floor beside my chair. Wait a few minutes, then get up. Drop your paper, and when you pick it up, pick up mine also.
Then what?
On an inner page of my paper, I have written my address. Come there in 2 hours. If I am not there, wait for me.
Now, just a minute. How can I...
Please. There is no time for further questions. 2 hours, Mr. Dollar. In my room.
Two hours later, I went to the address he'd given me. A small apartment in another part of the city. Now answer. He hadn't arrived yet. I went inside and waited. 15 minutes went by. No sign of Sebastian. And then something started pecking away at my brain, a faint sound. I finally pegged it, a dripping faucet. It came from the bathroom. The bathtub was full. In it, floating face down, was Sebastian.
Now, here's our star to tell you about tomorrow's episode of this week's story.
Tomorrow, a perfect stranger wants to get acquainted, and a beautiful girl asked me to go skiing. Trouble is, either or both of them could be trying to kill me. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, is transcribed in Hollywood. Written by Robert Reif, it is produced and directed by Jack Johnstone. Be sure to join us tomorrow night, same time and station, for the next exciting episode of Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Roy Rowan speaking.
there's the first part of the Picture Postcard Matter. Johnny heads back to Europe again. This episode from October 1st, 1956 here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Of course, if you miss a day, you don't have to miss a single episode of yours truly, Johnny Dollar. You know, all of our shows are available through my webpage, which is classicradio.stream. We stream all 21 hours a week of Classic Radio Theater through there. You can also learn all about building a classic radio collection of your own. You can also find sites to download our shows through podcast. You can find our social media links there. You can contact me. And if you want to help us expand our classic radio collection, you can do that by buying me a coffee. That's at buymeacoffee at classicradio.stream. That's classicradio.stream. Thank this station, support their advertisers, and as always, tell your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox here on your favorite radio station.